This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a...
Live from SmittyOne.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take a lap.
What's going on, everybody? Here for a little bit more Deshaun Watson news. Nothing completely, I would say, like in the realm of like panic, but there is another charge potentially being looked at by the grand jury in a different county that could lead to something. It's something to keep an eye on. It certainly isn't good news, but it certainly could go away as quick as the other grand jury situation. In Harris County is where the other 10 cases were potentially being looked at or being reviewed to see if criminal charges would be brought forward if Deshaun Watson would be indicted for those 10 cases. That was, right before he signed his $230 million fully guaranteed contract. So those were not pursued, which is what triggered the Deshaun Watson trade talk, which triggered Deshaun Watson getting traded, which triggered his $230 million guaranteed contract. So everybody thought that he was out of the woods. And what did I tell you for like the last 2 or 3 weeks straight? That just because those criminal charges were gone, coming from my own mouth over and over, I said, don't be surprised if more civil claims pop up, because there were potentially a handful. According to rumors, there's no facts on this. We only have a lot of rumors and hearsay to go off. So in a way, it's unfair to Deshaun Watson to even talk about a lot of this stuff, but we have to look at it. We have to address it. We have to try and predict, because what are we? We're a fantasy football community. This is a fantasy football show. I do break a lot of news. This is a news show. This is in some way an NFL show, an NFL news show, a talking head type of show. I am not I am a reporter in some sense, yes, but I'm also an opinionated reporter. Everything I report is really geared around opinion and projection and prediction. So we have to sometimes make uncomfortable assumptions. And in this case right here, I said over and over that there could potentially be at any point another criminal charge that comes forward. And so when everybody was so quick to be like, okay, it's over and we're moving on, Deshaun Watson's beat all the criminal charges, he's on his way, what would your boy Smitty say? That at any point, one of the other 22 people could say, I want to pursue this, or the counties themselves, in this case, the Brazoria, Texas County, is coming forward to potentially look at one of these charges. Now, everyone keeps saying it's not a new charge or a new case. I mean, that's true in a sense that it's one of the 22 people that are filing civilly against Deshaun Watson, but it is a new charge. So in a sense, it is a new case. So when people keep saying it's not new, it is new in the sense that it's a new potential criminal path that's being looked at against Deshaun Watson. Now, the report is that the Browns knew about this. Maybe they didn't think anything would come of it. They certainly, I don't think, knew about that it was going to come to this potential point where it's being reviewed like the other 10 cases were that did not pursue and proceed. Maybe the Browns knew that this could be a possibility. Maybe they were told or under the assumption that it wouldn't ever come to fruition or anything. It would never get to a point where it was being looked at to potentially go toward criminal charges or be pursued. We don't really know the details of that, but reportedly the Browns knew that this existed, this potential possibility. So as it stands right now, what's it mean? I know a lot of people are going to jump to Deshaun Watson's defense. I know a lot of people are going to jump to pointing fingers at him and saying, this guy's done. The Browns, screwed themselves. And we don't know. We don't know. The bottom line is this. If this does proceed and he's indicted and they decide to pursue this particular criminal charge, it would be disastrous. Be disastrous for Deshaun Watson. And you got to think that, and we don't have the details of the contract, maybe somebody will look into that very soon, and then Rappaport or Schefter will report on it, I'm sure. There's got to be something in Deshaun Watson's. In fact, I bet you will hear about that really, really soon by one of these reporters, that Deshaun Watson, there's got to be something in his contract that if he is brought up on criminal charges of any kind relating to this or anything, they can get out of that contract, or there's certain outs for him. So we'll see. No need to jump to conclusions, but we need to look at this because I know a lot of people are going to say this has already been looked at, or this isn't going to go any. Look, it's not already been looked at by this county. That's the whole point. This county, the Brazoria County, is going to take a look at this. It says it right here. Reports a grand jury in Brazoria, Texas, is considering charges against Deshaun Watson. Everyone's correct. This has been looked at in a different county on different charges from different individuals. This is a different individual of the 10 individuals that were being looked at for the Harris County situation. So we'll see what happens here. Leave that man alone. Frank, it's not me, bro. I'm not doing anything. I'm reporting on it. And the bottom line is given that the other 10 were thrown out or not pursued criminally, they weren't thrown out, they were not pursued criminally, you have to think that the odds are that this situation won't go forward on this charge either. And kind of, I think what's going to happen here is if he is able to prove, or rather the criminal charges don't proceed, that I think everyone's going to watch if this thing does fall through again. Hey, even more of a reason to be like, leave this man alone. So I think you're going to hear a lot of people come to Watson's side of this thing, even more so if he's able to get out of this charge. Because once you have so many charges brought against you and you beat them, or they're not pursued because the evidence is too thin, then you start getting people to say, look, this really is a conspiracy. You literally have had 2 grand jury potential situations not go forward on Deshaun Watson. What is going on here? There's no evidence here that will make these things go forward or proceed. So clearly, this is all a bunch of hogwash, is what a lot of people are going to say. I'm not saying there aren't certain truths to this case. I don't know. None of us really know. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But this is crazy that we're looking at a potential another criminal pursuit here, and if it sticks, he probably won't play. But I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say it wouldn't stick because the other 10 didn't. I think what it's going to come down to is that he does potentially beat this charge, although you never know. You got to prepare for the worst. That's why we're talking about this. It's an emergency live stream, in that this could go badly. It could. I don't know that it will, but it could. We need to prepare for that. But if the 10 cases prior to it, the charges that did not indict him, get him indicted, if those 10 situations there weren't enough evidence to go forward and move forward criminally, you got to think this other one's probably not going to have any legs to stand on either. Now, is that to say he's completely innocent from all of this? Guys, let's be honest here, okay? There are over 22 individuals, and said to be more. We don't know for sure how many, or if there are. Those are some speculative rumors out there. But there are 22 situations that Deshaun Watson put himself in bad light, okay? This guy invited a bunch of amateur therapists, massage therapists, estheticians, and people in those lines of work into a situation that clearly made a bunch of them uncomfortable. Now, are the charges all correct? No. Is he guilty of a lot of the things probably being said? Probably not. I don't know for certain. Again, innocent until proven guilty. But he did put himself in these situations. What a lot of people don't understand is that just because there's a lot of stuff being potentially made up, or a picture about him being painted that is a bad picture, a bad light, doesn't mean that he didn't in fact go into these situations. What he's arguing is everything was consensual, not that it didn't take place. The fact that these situations took place one after the other, him inviting these amateur massage therapists into his situation, because who knows why he wanted to do that, but he went to great lengths to continue this repeated behavior. There is something wrong with it, okay? Whether it's what the people are claiming to be and how detailed, all these details, are they true? That is to be decided by the courts. That's why he's in civil litigation. He's most likely going to settle with over 22 people. Do not be shocked, like I said before, if more people come forward, because if this guy's getting paid $230 million, you can almost bet he's going to want to make this thing go away quickly. So you can almost bet that people are going to get paid. When people are paid, and people that sat out the first round of this say, hey, I could get paid now. The guy just got $230 million. Maybe I'll jump in. This is not a class action lawsuit. This is a consolidated lawsuit, meaning that other individuals still can come and claim this and claim that against him. I'm not saying it's true, but Watson's still at risk of more civil litigation downstream. It's not class action. A lot of people think this is class action, meaning that once it's over, no one else can come in and do the same thing. It's not class action. It's consolidated. There's a big difference. So yeah, Jeremy says right here, class action lawsuit type stuff. It's not class action. It's not at all. It's consolidated, meaning one attorney's trying to streamline all this to make the process quicker and to roll through it, but it is not class action. They got to have video or audio evidence, says Jeremy. Anything else wouldn't matter. Several have already lied. And that's the thing. Him putting himself in this bad light, doing this repeating this situation over and over, even if he did it in kind of weird fashion, but let's say he's innocent from most, all, or every one of the indecent claims that are being thrown his direction by over 22 people. It's still the NFL suspending him. Like, we cannot suggest that he didn't do anything wrong here. He did. He shouldn't have been doing this. Whatever weird thing he was doing, he shouldn't have been doing it. But did he commit a crime? We don't know. That's innocent until proven guilty. No one should be saying he did or didn't do anything until, he's able to defend himself. No, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Everybody. In my eyes, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So everybody needs to make sure they're delicate with how they talk about this, how they report on it. But he definitely put himself in this position over and over and over again. So it's tough to know what's going to happen here. But Deshaun Watson definitely is not out of the woods yet. But if the last 10 cases are any indication that he's going to probably be fine from this one, I'd say that the odds are probably more in his favor that no criminal charges will be pursued from the Brazoria, Texas county. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that county correctly. I apologize if you're from Brazoria. If you're a Brazorian, my bad. But we'll find out more on that. But he's definitely not out of the woods criminally, and he's most certainly not out of the woods civilly, and he's most 100%, 1000% not out of the woods when it comes to the NFL coming down and suspending him. So there's that. He's guilty of being a creep, says Austin. I don't know. I mean, we don't know, bro. It's definitely weird. What he did was weird. And we don't know to what extent some of this stuff is true or not true. We don't know. In these types of cases, like, we literally have to be sensitive to Watson, but also the potential victims, because in these cases, we don't know whether he's guilty or innocent. It's innocent until proven guilty, but we can't say that every single thing that's being said about him is a lie. We can't say every single thing being said about him is true either. So none of us know. We are going off media reports, correct, BW. But bottom line is, we'll find out more. He's looking at potentially one more criminal pursuit via the grand jury in Brazoria, Texas, and that could derail his career, or it could back up the direction this has been heading in. And I guarantee you, if nothing's made of this, if this doesn't get pursued, this one case from Brazoria, I can almost guarantee you that the support for Watson will grow, because this is yet another victory, and that's going to build and build. So it'll be a good day for Watson camp. If this does not get pursued, it will be a very bad day if it does. If you guys, Nick wants to know, did they ever say what he actually was accused of doing to these women? You guys, a lot of people talk about this and they haven't read the complaints. So, and I understand, but like, even for people in here that are defending him, or people in here that are accusing him or whatever, you guys got to read the complaints, okay? They're so graphic, I can't talk about it on the show. This is a semi-family show. Not even a family show. I just can't talk about it, period. The complaints were pretty crazy, okay? Very, very crazy. So if you haven't read the complaints and you're defending him, think about what you're doing. You're literally trying to defend somebody when you haven't even read any of the evidence at all, or any of the submitted evidence by the accusers. So read the complaints before you even say anything. So you at least know both sides of it, because it's pretty crazy. And some of the stuff, and again, just because he's innocent of a crime doesn't mean what he's doing isn't going to be looked at by the NFL as being pretty crazy. It's not just that, Sammy. It's worse than that. Okay, so anyway, that's where we're at with Deshaun Watson. I'll keep you posted on that as more information comes along. But, yeah, I don't think a lot of you read the complaints, because there's sometimes people will say something, I can tell they didn't read the complaint. There's 22 complaints with a lot of crazy accusations. Deshaun Watson using the this is an athlete situation to his advantage, and that's kind of where these go. And then from there, it's a matter of he said, she said about what happened at that point. But this is a case of where Watson definitely had a thing for inviting in people that had small businesses that didn't deal with celebrities on a regular, meaning like he wanted to hire somebody to come to him that was wowed by him, like, oh my God, an athlete, this is Deshaun Watson. He could have, these teams have dedicated companies that they have come in and do the massage therapy, the body work, whatever. They have companies that professionally treat athletes day in and day out. He didn't want to go that route. He wanted to invite people that had never seen an athlete come into their massage therapy environment. He wanted to have that, wow, this is Deshaun Watson factor involved in what he was looking at. That right there is true, because he did this time and time again. It's not one time, two times, three times. So that's the problem. That's where the NFL is like, look, bro, we have this situation here where we have these therapists and people on standby for athletes. Like, why are you going this route? So that's what it's going to be looked at here. Innocent till proven guilty is exactly correct. Okay. Craziness, man. Craziness. Hit me with some questions for this preseason, or this offseason. What is the biggest, craziest thing that's happened during the offseason? Drop it. Let's hear it. Hit me with something. And stop bickering in the chat. I know this topic is a tough one to bring up. It brings up the worst in the chat, because you either want to defend him or you want to accuse him of this or that. And the bottom line is you gotta fall somewhere in the middle. Okay? You gotta fall somewhere in the middle, and everybody should be having a stance of innocent until proven guilty. There's definitely some ramifications that are going to come down from him choosing to go in this direction that he chose to go in. I'm trying to be delicate with my words too, because I want to make sure he's fairly treated when I'm reporting on this, and I'm not accusing him of being guilty or innocent of any of the actual charges. I'm merely saying that the NFL is going to come down on him and say, Watson, you shouldn't have been doing this. You shouldn't have been doing this. You shouldn't have been reaching out to random people and bringing them in time and time again. That's all I'm saying, and that's just fact. That's just what the NFL is going to look at. Tyreek, probably the transaction that happened the most quick and the most shocking to Quinn. Russ or Tyreek, surely. Devontae, but the writing was on the wall. Top spots for Odell. Don't worry about Odell, man. He's going to be out at least half of a year. I mean, the Browns or the Rams is where he's probably going to end up, but he's not going to be that useful this year. Even if he gets back on the field by like week 10 or 11 or something like that, he's going to be recovering from an ACL tear. The craziest thing for me might be an idiot because the Superflex spot question. I don't know what you're saying, Sammy. Maybe repeat that in one question for me. Watson's still a top 5 in fantasy, Doug. If he's playing, Doug, the answer would be affirmative. Affirmative, Doug. The Watson trade was most shocking to you. What is this question here by Bach? Bach. What's up, Bach? Let he who is without kinks cast the first stone. Come on, Bach. Pepperoni Anchovy Pizza says Waddle scores more touchdowns than Hill. It could happen. Like I said, Hill could potentially get banged up. He's kind of an injury-prone guy, kind of an injury worry anyway. I'm happy the Saints didn't get him now. Honestly, always going to be something with him, says who dat dude, talking about Deshaun Watson. I mean, I think this thing may or may not go away very fast because of the civil stuff, you know. Tyreek to Miami was the most shocking to no budget Charlie. The depth of Watson's, okay. We're not going to read that on the show, pal. Wilson to Denver. I think Wilson to Denver was a shock. Like, we forget how shocking that was when that went down. Jimmy G still in San Francisco. That is pretty shocking, but we've been saying for weeks that will probably be the case, that Shanahan is addicted to keeping Jimmy G. Smash the like button on your way in the door. Does a QB automatically get put into a Superflex spot? No. It depends on who you got. Trubisky to the Steelers was a weird move. Yeah, a little bit more predictable than a lot of this other stuff, though. Underdog Superflex tourney. Yep, go to smitty1.com/underdog to join that. Smitty1.com. Let me put that on the screen here. Smitty1.com/underdog. Get some. Get some. Suit up. Smitty1.com/underdog. Allen Robinson, wide receiver 2 season. I think more like wide receiver 3 with hopes of wide receiver 2 value. You know, I'm not drafting him as a wide receiver 2. Calvin Ridley getting suspended for a year for gambling. This has been a crazy offseason. Absolutely crazy. Like when you actually write it all out, it's insane. Kirk getting $80 million was shocking. Yeah, but if you really look at it, Hendricks is $37 million guaranteed 2 years. Voidable third and fourth year. It's a paper tiger contract, bro. It isn't really what it seems. But the big number seems weird. We're going to mock draft tonight, maybe. Maybe, James. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Sammy. The AFC West free agency was crazy. Yeah, but it was so weird how it was building up, and then KC took themselves down by trading Tyreek Hill. I don't understand that. Probably the dumbest move of the entire offseason was trading Tyreek Hill out of Kansas City. Why would you do that? Everyone says money, but you know what? The cap's a fake thing. It's not real. Like, to an extent, you can only move so much, but he's already on the roster. Like, they didn't need to get under a cap number. This was a dumb move. You can talk about money all you want, but this was a dumb move. To get rid of Tyreek Hill was a stupid move by the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe they replace him with a rookie and they build that way. Like, let's say they get Burks. Somehow they can trade up and get Burks using the draft capital that they got. I'll judge it at the end fully, but this was not a great move by the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, Mahomes, Kelsey, breaking that up is definitely going to hurt them. They're not in the top 2 teams in the AFC West any longer. It's the Denver Broncos, it's the Chargers. There's a mini tier break, and then you have the Raiders and Chiefs now vying for that third spot in the AFC West. And you got to think the Chiefs still have a really good shot at grabbing one of the wild card spots, but I don't think they win the division. I think the Chargers win the division. I think the Chargers are the best team in the entire AFC. I think the Chargers go to the Super Bowl to face either the Niners, the Packers could still be in the mix. They still could. The Cardinals could be if Kyler Murray turns it around. I'll be rooting for Kyler if he can turn his headspace around. Know that. I say that every time I rip on Kyler. I always follow it up with a positive note saying Kyler's going toward a disastrous 2022 season. But if he can turn around his mentals and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to show leadership. They want me to be a leader. Watch me. If he does that, I'll be in his corner. I will start rooting for Kyler again, but he's got to show he's heading in that direction for me to be on board. Smitty, who's your wide receiver 1 going into this year? I go back and forth, to be honest. I mean, Cooper Kupp's kind of earned that, but Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, they're 1, 2, and 3. They're in any order. I could, depending on how the wind's blowing, I could go Jefferson right now. I could go Kupp right now. I could go Chase right now. If I had 3 leagues and I was drafting wide receiver in every single one of those leagues in the middle of the first round, I'd honestly want to take Jefferson, Kupp, and Jamar in all 3 of them. Like, divide it out, put all my eggs in different baskets and not load it up. Mahomes or Tua, come on. Where do you rank Kyler as a dynasty QB? Outside the top 5, but he has the capability of being, 4, 5, 6. He really does. It depends on him. It all depends on him. As of right now, he's not in my top 5, but he could change that with a good attitude. The best place to go is smitty1.com/underdog, right above my head, bro. That's where you want to go. Click on. Let me see if I can put the link in here and pin it for you. This is where you want to go. You want to go to smitty1.com/underdog is where you want to go. Let's see. I'm live right now. smitty1.com/underdog. And I'll pin that. Actually, let me rewrite that. Gotta put the HTTPS in there. Smitty1.com/underdog. Go there right now. Not only does it help your boy Smitty, it's the best way to play DFS and best ball and all that. So go ahead and go to that link I just pinned. Adams was one of the craziest. Packers are just falling apart. The Packers and Chiefs should have not. I mean, this is crazy. I have this right here. Where's my graphic that I made last night? This is a weird. It's a weird year. But look at this right here. I thought this was pretty funny. It's like this defines the whole offseason right here. 2 of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football. 2 of the best wide receivers in fantasy football. And the teams just sent them both elsewhere. Like, with no real plan of attack unless it's the rookie draft. Like, this right here just sums it up. Like, Devontae leaving A-Rod. We thought A-Rod was leaving Devontae. Tyreek Hill leaving Mahomes. I never would have guessed that coming into this season. So, this defines everything we've been facing. Kyler just unfollowed. What is this? Kyler just unfollowed while Carson Palmer literally oversteps his bounds to call out Kyler for yelling at AJ Green. I don't know, bro. Kyler did more than just unfollow. What are you talking about? Kyler Murray wrote a near ransom letter to the Arizona Cardinals about how in order for him to move forward, he needs to get paid. And Kyler Murray refused to go back into the football game with his teammates to snap the final snap in the playoff game, in the playoff loss, because he said that the Cardinals embarrassed him. The organization embarrassed him. Like I love when people act like Kyler hasn't done anything wrong. Kyler Murray has repeatedly been isolated in the locker room. His teammates are tired of him not showing leadership skills. Like, this is not a Kyler Murray unfollowed the team and that's all that happened. He took all the Cardinals off of his social media and unfollowed, yes, but that was one small part of it. Like, you're leaving out the bigger parts. That's the smallest part of it. I don't care about that. That could be a negotiation tactic. Doing all the other things or not, that's not negotiation. Being nowhere to be found the second half of the season was not a negotiation tactic. Not being a good leader is not a negotiation tactic. These are all things that he needs to prove he can do. And if he just did those this year while losing, Kyler would have got his extension. Thank you, toilet paper. Signing up using the link. Appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern for the regular time show. Appreciate you joining me for the emergency live stream. For those just joining, nothing handed down yet or avoided for Watson. It's just merely this other case popping up right here. Where is it at? Where's my graphic? Here it is. Watson potentially facing another charge in a different county. It will be looked at if it's shot down or not shot down, but not pursued, and the charges are not pursued. He's not indicted. Then it's more of the same. It's more of a victory for Watson to say, look, time and time again, nothing can be proven, and I keep getting these accusations thrown my way, and I keep beating him, and that's going to only fuel the defense, and only fuel the support system that Watson has. Like, it'll be in a weird way, it'll be a good victory for him to have another case shot down, because then it's going to look like, okay, these really are tough to argue. These charges are legit if they literally can't get any of them to be pursued. So in a sense, this will be a good thing for Watson camp in a weird way if he's able to beat this. And there's the saying, even a ham sandwich can be indicted, meaning it's not that hard to get indicted. And for him to avoid getting indicted proves that there's, like, literally in the 10 cases prior, there must have been literally no evidence whatsoever, or he would have probably been indicted. Because when you think about it, he pleaded the fifth the entire time they interviewed him and asked him questions. The fifth, he pleaded the fifth. He literally said, "I'm not going to answer any questions." And that looks bad when people are trying to bring evidence toward you, and instead of saying that's not true, you're like, "I plead the fifth. I'm afraid I'll indict myself." Like, that was bad, and he still beat it, which means that the charges in those 10 criminal cases must have been so lacking in support and evidence that literally pleading the fifth, he was not brought up on charges. Like I said, a lot of people say you can indict a ham sandwich. To not get indicted meant that there was literally no evidence in that situation. So in this one case, is the case different? Is there something else? We don't know the answers to that. There could be evidence in it. There couldn't be no evidence. It could be the same stance that they're taking, the same amount of evidence, and Watson's going to say, "I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth." And then if they don't have evidence more than the other situation, more than likely you're going to see the same result. But we'll find out, and stay tuned on that. I'll update you the moment I have more information. I'll see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Monday through Friday show here on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, smash it. And can we get a couple likes? Can you like the video if you're watching right now before you leave? Punch the thumbs up button. Help your boy Smitty.